Okay. So you plan to do
Yeah.
academic IELTS. What is the score actually that you are planning to get uh,
Uh,
as much as possible? Or do
Actually,
you have
that
a
the university they have mentioned.
yeah?
Yeah, 6.5. But
Mm.
again, I am planning for go for 7. But thing is, Madi, with this same report, I am going to planning for apply PR after 1 year's
All
time
right.
from Canada.
Yeah.
So the same thing can be used now for 2 years time.
No.
It's valid, no?
Yeah, 2 years time. But to apply for PR, you might will have to take the general test again. Because normally for
Is it
PR,
so? No.
yeah, normally for PR they ask for the general test. So you might will have to take it. But the more you score is better. So when it comes to academic, so aim for like
Uh,
8, and then you will end up somewhere along the way, not 6.5
uh-huh.
as the university says. So aim for 8 or 9, and it will give you a good score.
Uh-huh.
Right, so
Okay.
plan to
Thank
get,
you, Adi.
yeah, aim for a big score, so that it will be like really helpful. And you want, there are two components actually, computer based and the paper based one. So if someone is doing
Yeah.
PTE, actually it is basically based on computer. So you are planning
Yeah.
to do the paper based one, right?
Yeah. Paper based on. Yeah.
Paper based one have sometimes have actually advantages, and the computer based one
Uh-huh.
actually, if results, they give you results within like 3 days, 3 to 5 days. But in the paper based one, for the listening test, they give you extra 10 minutes
Uh-huh.
also, so that you
Uh-huh.
can have actually, that benefit is there. So when listening test is quite the easiest exam. So to get the overall
Uh-huh.
score, it is better to get a higher band for IELTS listening. So if someone is
All right.
really
Okay.
not fast at typing, and if they do the
Uh-huh.
listening test, they are going to play the recording just once. So if
Yeah.
someone doesn't have this enough typing speed, you will have to actually
Yeah.
listen while and understand and type at the same time. So, but when it comes to paper
Uh-uh.
based test, there's a time that you can jot down your answer, and they give you extra 10 minutes of time to transfer your answers to your answer sheet. So that benefit is there. So you
Okay.
can carefully transfer the answers when it comes to paper based test, and you can actually aim for
Yeah.
a higher score for listening, because when
Mm-hmm.
you get a higher band for one component, the overall score is going to be raised. And another thing is, so because
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and the speaking test is also quite easy compared with the other one. And
Uh-huh.
writing is the one that you have to pay attention to. So you're planning to get a free right, free something for free module from IDP, right? So when you're asking for that,
Yeah.
ask for the writing one. So this is
Writing schedule. Yeah.
yeah, writing. And the test is going to use a band 9 score system on scale from 1 to 9. And for some people who are
Uh-huh.
applying for UK, they have to do UKVI. But just normal IELTS is valid for UK and many other countries. So doing IELTS is very helpful for you can apply for many
Uh-huh.
countries. But if you do TOEFL and all, it's kind of limited to America and Canada. So IELTS is one of the best
Yeah.
things that you can exams that you can actually take. So you
Yeah.
should actually, there's a chance that you can, when you start your IELTS journey, it is better that you know that your current level actually. So that's why I ask you to take
Okay.
that exam. It's designed by the British Council.
Uh-huh.
The app that I ask you to install,
So,
it will give you a
yeah. Yeah.
CEFR. You took that?
Yeah, that the first part. Yeah, first part I lead Amandi. So that there's another two parts. That listening, speaking and
Speaking one,
listening.
yeah,
Something does not. Yeah.
speaking one is not that good actually. It will take some
Uh-huh.
time that you will have to evaluate other speakers as well. But the core skills test is a really good one that you can take. It is actually going to give
Uh-huh.
you a current standard on what your CEFR score is. So if you can
Uh-uh.
take that, did you take that core skills test, the first
Yeah.
one?
For the first. First one I did it. So that the score came 1 minute.
Right. There was a letter mentioned. There should be a
Yeah,
letter.
they have mentioned B2 upper intermediate.
So B2 upper main.
It's 472.
Right, I will tell you what that is. B2 is, so
Yeah.
knowing your current level is better when you start your
Uh-huh.
IELTS journey. It is going to help you where you stand actually, whether it's band 6, 7 or 8. The CFR score will give you a rough understanding of where you stand. So while practicing, with
Okay.
practice and understanding, you can increase your score. So
Okay.
so you should take an online test or a website from a mobile app to understand your current level when you start your IELTS journey. So it is helpful to understand
Okay.
your level. So this is the app that I was telling you, English score designed by the British Council. It was free. Cool kills. The speaking
All right.
test, actually this is not that good, because you will have to listen to some speech and remember and then type and all. It's not a very good speech test, but the core skills test is a very good one. And
Okay.
as I told you, academic and general, there are two tests. So if you are planning to admit for university for scholarships and all, you will have to take the academic test. But if you're planning for work visa, PR and immigration for many occupations, you will have to take the general
Uh-huh.
test. So if you're planning to apply for PR later on, you might will have to take the general exam again. That will
Okay,
make
Avanti. Yeah.
and so when it comes to vocabulary, you have to have a wide range of vocabulary. Definitely when it comes to reading and writing, you will understand why that is, because reading is not just a normal reading test. It is, so you will have to have the understanding of synonyms and paraphrasing when it comes to reading test and also writing. So you have to have a wide range of vocabulary knowledge when you do
Yeah.
IELTS. So just have an overall understanding, just be engaged with IELTS vocabulary related stuff. So if you can, I can send materials, you can
Okay.
study that and be conscious about the words, actually, especially about synonyms of each words. And you have to definitely
Okay.
will have to use formal English language when you write the academic IELTS rather than the general IELTS, because this is academic IELTS comparatively harder than the general IELTS. And
Okay.
grammar, actually you have to write correct sentences in order to get a band score. You have to be conscious about grammar. You have to be conscious about different grammar structures, tenses, parts of speech, clauses and sentences. So if the stuff that you're using for the speaking exam, you cannot write in the writing language, especially when it comes to academy. So you have to have the different
Okay.
knowledge of grammar as well when it comes to IELTS. There's a component for give marks for grammar, actually, and pronunciation is also
Okay.
important. Correct pronunciation, you do not have to have an accent, but correct pronunciation will help you to get a good score when it comes to speaking test. So listen to English speech as much as possible. Maybe watch movies, you watch a TED talk on YouTube, listen to songs and all. Do
Mm-hmm.
while at least for this month, just be engaged with the English medium stuff, and it will help you to make your general English level go up, actually. So it is going to help you.
Okay, I'm sure.
And practice is extremely important, so practice the material that I'm sending as well. So there are four components: speaking, listening, reading and writing. Speaking and listening is the same for both academic and general IELTS. So therefore those two components are quite easy. Reading and writing, you will get different components for academic and general. The exam is quite different. The number of tasks you have to do is the same, but the context that is coming is different. So you have to pay
Okay.
extra attention. Writing, there will be two tasks. Writing one, will have to, task one you will have to write a summary. In task two you will have to write an essay.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So that is there. And
Mm-hmm.
so as I told you, there are four components. So listening one, there will be 40 questions and they will give you 30 minutes to write your answer. So less than 1 minute for each question. So you have to listen consciously. Audio clip is just played once, and they will give you extra 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet when it comes to the listening test on paper based. And academic reading, there will be 3 sections: section 1, 2 and 3, and there again 40 questions will be there altogether, and there will be 1 hour. And the context that is coming are extremely lengthy, so you will have to follow a different technique when you attempt the reading questions. I will teach you how to
Yeah.
attempt that. And the academic one, academic writing, writing, there will be 2 tasks, task 1 and task 2. Task 1 you will have to write a summary, and task 2 you will have to write an essay, and it will take 1 hour. They will give you 1 hour. And the speaking one, are you registering at the British Council?
No,
No,
I'm going to register with the IDP.
IDP, right,
Yeah.
right. So IDP
They are
is
good, no?
IDP is good, but they don't give you the chance of booking the speaking test beforehand. You will have to be adjusted to the time that they will give you actually. So when you register for the IDP and the British Council are the authorized people around the world to do whole IELTS. So it's a good institute, but the thing is IDP doesn't facilitate the idea that you are booking the speaking test according to your preferred date. But British Council, you can actually book the writing test date and the speaking test date both. At IDP, after you have registered for the writing test, they will later on give you speaking date, and they will later on tell you either it is going to be a video call or a face-to-face interview. At the British Council, it's most of the time it's going to be a face-to-face interview. But IDP, they might give you will have to go to the center, and it will be either a video call or maybe a face-to-face interview. So you cannot know that beforehand when it comes to IDP. That is there.
Yeah, okay.
And there will be a one-to-one speaking session with you and the examiner, either video call or the face-to-face interview. So you and the examiner will only be there, and it will last for like 10 to 20 minutes, maximum 20 minutes. They don't take more than that. So it is one of the easiest, actually quite the easiest when it comes to IELTS, the speaking test. Lots of people have the fear of going to the speaking test, but it's my personal view is that speaking is the easiest. You can score really well.
Okay.
And listening, actually, when it comes to listening test, as I told you, practice is important. There's a flow that is going on. The flow is that the questions are following the order of the audio. So it's easy actually. If you follow the order and the context and the pattern, it is easy to score 8.5 like for the listening test. It is actually easy. You just have to catch the flow. So practice a bit more when it comes to the listening test. You don't have to go up and down to search for the answers. It is going in an order. So you just have to catch the pattern, that's all, and listen carefully.
Okay.
And there will be several question types: multiple choice questions, matching, diagram, plan, labeling. There will be a map. There might be a map, sentence completion, text, short answer questions, note formed, table summary, flowchart completion. By listening to the audio, they will give you different types of questions that you will have to answer. All of the questions follow the same pattern. And the reading skills requires learners not only English language ability but also background knowledge due to its diverse topics such as society, history, nature. To be honest, you don't have to have the background knowledge. Just read the text and understand the synonyms and the question pattern. They use a lot of paraphrasing actually when it comes to IELTS reading. So the questions will be in a different set of words. The answers will text is in a different set of words. So you cannot find the same words in the text and the question. So while reading, you will have to understand the context and find your answer. So if you search the internet, there will be techniques like skimming and scanning techniques to do reading. So you will have to practice skimming for some questions and scanning for another set of questions, and that is going to take time. So therefore, I will tell you something different to follow through, where you have to follow the same technique for all the questions, and it's going to save you a lot of time. So when it comes to reading, I will tell you how to do it. And there will be lots of types of questions coming on. So multiple choice, true, false, not given questions, yes, no, not given questions, matching information, matching headings, matching sentence endings, sentence completion, comprehension questions, diagram label questions. There will be different types of questions. So all of the questions can be done in the same pattern. You will see how easy it is when you tackle the technique actually. Different questions are coming. The next one, as I told you, writing. There will be 2 tasks. And in task 1 for the general training people, they will give a letter. So they will have to understand whether it's formal, informal, or semi formal type. You have to understand the format and
Mm.
then write the answer. But for the academic people, you will have to write a report or a summary. So they will give you a line chart or a bar chart. Most of the time, line charts, two bar charts, or maybe line chart and a bar chart, maybe mixed charts like that,
Mhm.
and tables, maps, cycle process. So you will have to write a report or a summary. So you have to remember that you are going to write a summary and write only the important details. So they will give you a
There's a limitation, Avanti. Word limitation.
yeah, there's
The
word
minimum words count.
yeah,
Yeah.
150.
Ah.
So even if you write
Okay.
149 words, 149 words, you are going to lose a lot of score. So 150 is the
Ah.
limit. You can write any much more, any more that you can. Actually, don't write more than
Okay.
200. Writing 200 is more than
Yeah.
200. You are going to repeat the same, and it's not going to be a summary. So
Mm-mm.
don't write more than 200.
Okay.
And and the next one is essay. So they will be like different types of essays: opinion essays, advantages and disadvantages essay, discussion essay, and causes and effects essay. There will be different types of essays, and there's a pattern that you have to follow. There are a number of paragraph patterns that you have to follow when you write essays to get a good score that you will learn.
Okay.
And the speaking one, with the basic English foundation, including vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation. Those are the things that are checking: vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and fluency. Those are the four components that is being tested when it comes to IELTS speaking. And there will be three parts. In part one, it will be just an introduction where they will ask several questions about yourself and familiar topics such as home, family, study, work, something hobbies, something like that. It will be very simple questions, so you will have to answer. In the second
Okay.
part, it's called the long turn. Where you they will give you a cue card, a paper actually containing a topic, whether you have, and they will give you 1 minute to prepare for a mini speech. You will have to speak for
Okay.
like about 2 to 3 minutes. Basically, it's about one of your life goals, or maybe a friend you have met, an influential person, something like that. A very simple topic, right?
Okay.
About a person, or maybe a goal, or maybe a place that you have visited, something like that. And on part 3, they will ask further questions related to the topic in part 2. For example, if they ask you about your favorite subject at school in part 2, in part 3 they will ask you
Mm.
about global education system, something like that, something related to the part
Okay.
2 topic. And it will last for a maximum 20 minutes, and then it's over. You cannot
Okay.
have low pauses when it comes to speaking. Just speak fluently and they will give you marks actually. So there are things that you have to
Okay.
follow. If you incorporate idioms and collocations in your speech, they will give you extra marks for your language. Other than that, try to maintain fluency. Like, don't have long pauses, like without like taking too much time to think for an answer. Just speak.
Okay.
That is how it's going to be when it comes to IELTS. Actually, this is not hard as you think if you practice. This is one of the best exams that you can sit for. And the computer based exam, I am not going to talk to you about this much about this since you are not sitting for this.
Yeah.
So these are the links for British Council IDP, and also there's a facility that you can register at ACBT. So is there anything else that you actually need to know about this?
Actually, again, once you conduct the classes, Avanti, we can get to know the content and all the things inside that, no?
Yeah,
So this is a basic rough idea.
rough idea about the exam.
Yeah.
You haven't
Okay.
taken the
Uh,
test before, right? Just the first time.
No, no, I have been in year, I think 2009,
Ah,
very, again, 20 years back, I have taken.
ah,
For at that time, I wanted to apply for PR in Canada. So
uh-huh.
after that I applied through the WWICS, the
Yeah.
Worldwide Immigration Consultancy at Colpity. So they did my this thing, that application. So after that, I
Alright.
didn't want to
Okay.
apply, and I just withdraw that.
Okay, so that time you must
So
have
that's
taken the general training exam, if you can remember.
yeah, correct. General one. Yeah, I think it's a total average came somewhere at 6.5.
Ah,
Only that lesser numbers came with the writing thing, somewhere around 6 or 5.5. For
right.
other components, it's 6.5. Yeah,
Five. Okay, so that you must have taken the general training. So this time you're taking the academic
correct.
exam.
Yeah,
Yeah, more two components are the same. The rest of the components are different, but you will be able to catch it actually. When you practice, it's nothing.
okay. So for starting on this, so is there any app that I can use for do the